What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, founder of appmasters.com. Guys, this is the day after my birthday, and I'm putting some fresh, new fits on for you. So thank you to the wife who got me all this stuff. But I'm super excited to have our guest on today. We're going to talk all about ASO strategies, especially I know a lot. I share a lot of content on keyword optimization, but we're going to talk about how to do ASO outside of just the plain old keyword optimization. Got a phenomenal guest. He is the senior growth marketing manager at Freeletics and a freelance ASO consultant. So you're going to get the best of both worlds, whether you're a 7-figure, eight-figure business and you're figuring out ASO, or you're just an indie wanting to learn about it and what is working for a smaller budget. You're going to get all that right now. Anton, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
I felt like I was stumbling a little bit towards the end, but I do want to say hi to a few people. Nurex is here. Good to see you, bro. Kevin, good to see you. We've got Miguel. Happy birthday. Thank you. That's all I wanted. I wanted everybody to just tell me happy birthday. Thank you, Adele.
Happy birthday still, Steve. I didn't know.
Why would you know, Anton? But I do appreciate it. It was a chill birthday. But yeah, Anton, let's get into it a little bit. You want to go straight into your presentation, or is there anything else you want to tell the audience about all the accolades that you've, gone and collected through your career?
No, I'm good with the accolades. Let's go to the presentation. Let's try to share some knowledge with people, Let's try to make it useful.
All right, bro. Let's do it. I love it.
All right. Cool. Yeah, let's kick off with some ASO trends, or I guess tactics I noticed to work quite well as of late. As Steve said, there is, as usual, keyword optimization. There is A/B testing. There is the classics. All of those you have to do. There's sort of like table stakes. I wanted to talk a little bit about stuff which is, I guess, newer, or maybe things which people are not thinking about too much. So yeah, let's try to do that. Yeah, basically, I'm basing that on a LinkedIn post that I did. Got some good engagement. So from what I understand, people are quite interested in the topic. So yeah, let's move on. As I said, this will be outside of the keyword optimization, outside of A/B testing, outside of the things you probably already know about. So yeah, trying to have some fresh takes here.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't think a lot of it, I know I've already gone through the content, and Anton, I don't think a lot of it is I think a lot of it's being underutilized, for sure.
Yeah. And I want to start with custom product pages. Now, I think for people who are like actively doing ASO and using custom product pages, this is a little bit old news, but you would be surprised by how many people are still not really actively using them. I think it was like September 2021 when custom product pages released. And back then it was, it just felt like such a big thing. It was a big update to what you could do on the App Store. It just felt like everybody will get on board ASAP. And, we're in, what is it, April 2025. You would be surprised by how many companies are either not using custom product pages at all, or are only now like sort of starting to dip their toes into, what CPPs can do for them, or custom store listings on Google Play for that matter. That's another thing. Like a lot of people don't even know that there's not just CPPs, there's also custom store listings on Google Play.
Yeah.
So there is that. I guess going one layer deeper on custom product pages, a few things you can do with them. So on Google Play, you can target specific search terms with Google Play custom store listings. It might be branded, it might be competitors, it might be if your app has multiple features, and people search for you for like one feature or another, you can create a specific page to align with that specific search term. Think about it like if you were doing CPPs for Apple search ads, but for organic search in Google Play. This is really exciting. This is a very interesting feature to try and play with, especially if you have significant volume of traffic coming from those generic keywords and you just like to optimize conversion a little bit.
Yeah, Anton, we've seen tremendous success with this. Like one of our clients, it was just indie and just starting to get going, but we saw some tremendous success through Google Play. It went from like zero to a few $1,000s with just custom store listings and making sure we got certain keywords to rank there too. I feel like if you're on Google Play, custom store listings is like a no-brainer too. And then you can go into your Google console and see which keywords are driving the most of the downloads and then create custom store listings off of that. Is that your process or do you have a different process?
Yeah, 100%. And Google Play is so good with like giving you keyword level data. So
Yes.
yeah, don't miss out on that. Like try to use that. Again, I guess an important thing here is just like try to make sure that there is some traffic on those keywords. Like if there isn't, it's just unlikely that it'll move the needle because there is no traffic anyway. But if there are people coming, if it's competitors, your own brand, anything, yeah, try to play with that. As Steve said, might get some really good result out of that.
Absolutely, dude. Okay.
All right. Cool. So yeah, the second one, App Store custom product pages for Apple search ads targeting competitors in some like creative and cheeky way. I don't think you should be just like going straight after your competitors in your CPPs, like saying,
Yeah.
like, don't use this app, use this. It's a gray area. Those companies might actually report you. Like that's not something I would suggest, but there are different creative ways which you can brainstorm with your creative team, designers, ASO managers, whoever that might be, to try and come up with something creative. I think on the next slide, if you actually click through,
Yep.
added an example of what we did at Freeletics. And I've seen a few other companies doing that as well. So it's like a play on the
Mm,
Google, like try to get lucky. Like when you search for something and you have a typo, it's like, oops, did you mean, you know, in this case, Freeletics. It's not really like an attack on any specific competitor
I like
brand.
it.
It's like a workaround, but I guess it's creative. Some people might appreciate it, click through on your app, download it. So yeah, experiment with your custom product pages for Apple search ads. Try to be creative for competitor brands, but also for generic keywords, just as we just now discussed for custom store listings in Google Play. There's so much you can do. If you're already spending significant budget on Apple search ads, why not optimize that?
Yeah, for sure. And we've definitely seen that work pretty well for us too, Anton, especially when like, I don't know, maybe this is like Freeletics thing, but if you're going after abs and then like leading with more ab workout related terms, I mean, we saw pretty good success. And we have one client we're spending about
Yeah,
60 grand on Apple search ads a month.
100%. That's what we call like visual keyword recognition. When somebody's searching for abs or like lose weight, workouts to lose weight, like if that's the search term and then people recognize that search term in your creatives, it just activates that sort of flywheel, improving your conversion rate, but then also as a secondary effect, hopefully that also has a positive impact on your ranking. So that's actually a good tactic, not just for CPPs and Apple search ads, but for generic store listing as well.
Hey, I'm I almost called you Emery, but Anton, like Emery, my friend Emery, who used to be at Mobile Action, but no
All right.
longer there. But he custom product pages with competitor terms. He showed off this example, and I didn't want to copy him, so I took a picture while he was giving this presentation and
Yeah.
give him full credit. But you can see Opera bidding on Chrome, ditch the basic browser. So I like your way you did the Freeletics. Did you mean? And Firefox,
Fire the
Opera's like
Fox.
fire the
Yeah.
fox. Yeah, these
I
are a
love
bit more
what they're doing.
aggressive.
I've seen that. That's really cool. But again, I mean, it is aggressive, but it's creative as well. Like you have to give it to them.
Yeah, no,
It's
I do like
creative.
yours. Okay, do you want to go back to the
Yeah,
Google
let's go
Play
back.
returning users one?
And yeah, the last one, Google Play custom store listing, targeting returning users, making it as simple as either just saying right away, like, welcome back to whatever app you have, or like calling out the new features, which you might have added in the past like month or half a year or so. This one will be effective if you have a large percentage of returning users. So that is more often like a more established app, which you have on the market for like multiple years. Those apps tend to have a large percent of returning users. Sometimes over like 50% of those users might actually be returning rather than new. So maybe a better tactic for bigger companies, more established apps, but still just like a very interesting, way to play with those. Since Google Play gives you an opportunity to target the custom store listing by the install state, I guess it is.
Mm.
So you might have just a new one for like new users. You might have a page for just returning users. Try to experiment with that. Again, similar to the store listing for generic search terms, just see if there's any traffic. Like if optimizing for that audience group will actually move the needle, like if it's big enough, if the users are actually coming. So those would be the custom product pages ones. Steve, do you have anything to follow
Yeah,
up on
and so
there?
can you do Google custom store listings targeting return users and keywords? Or is it just returning users without keywords?
Yeah, I mean you can, but you can just set up two. So you can set up one custom store listing which will target both, but you can have the same store listing targeting returning and keywords. I
Okay.
guess if you wanna target people who are like coming only returning users only from specific search terms, I'm not sure you can do that.
Okay. Just curious.
Uh, but that's an interesting
The only
one.
reason why I was asking was like, if you could do it, do you recommend starting with maybe just your brand? Because it is probably going to be for more established brands anyways. But
Yeah.
if you don't have to do it and you could just target all returning users, then yeah, what's the point?
Yeah, but I guess for more established brands, I mean, the majority of traffic is branded anyway. So, but yeah, that's a good point. I'm not sure you can do that. Not sure you can do that.
Okay. Well, in this
That's a
term,
good call.
Beza, I think that's right. Did you test the specific search terms for uninstall users too? I guess she's asking the same thing. Like, have you tested it with keywords for returning users?
Yeah. Yeah. So no, like usually if I set those up, it's either or. Like it's either
Got it.
based on a keyword or for like new returning users, that kind of stuff. We never really mix them together. Again, in my experience for the apps where it would make sense to set up a custom store listing with returning users, like 80% of that traffic is branded anyway. So if we're talking about setting it up for like branded keywords, might just as well create like one custom store listing. It will target those users and then some extra ones, which might come as a nice bonus. So yeah, that just was not a need for that so far.
Agreed. We got a question from Business Marketing and Skills. All right.
All right.
He saw that you normally get an ASO boost within the first week and I think he's talking about, so one guy on YouTube talking about if you want ASO, you'll get a boost in the first week when you launch. But next time when your ASO starts to grow, it's only in 6 months. Do you have any intel on like this
No,
boost
so
thing? Yeah.
yeah, so as far as I know, indeed, like if you launch a new app, especially on iOS, there is like a week to 2 week sort of boost where the store tries to give you more visibility. As an indie app, I mean, if you launch without it, you'll barely get any visibility. So there is some boosting. I don't know about like this second one in 6 months. I don't think it's like scheduled like that. Like you
I don't
might get
think
a
so
boost
either.
in the first few weeks, but then it's all a matter of your ASO, like market dynamics, what's happening. If you're running any paid, I don't think about, I don't know about the 6 month thing.
Yeah, me
I'm
neither.
not
It's
sure
the
it's
first
true.
time I've heard about it too.
Yeah.
Okay. You want to move on to in-app
Yeah, let's
events?
go.
Yeah.
Second one, in-app events, pretty interesting one. There is a lot of, again, if you're doing those, you're probably doing those like ongoingly. It's not news to you. However, in-app events, I've just seen quite a lot of success with them on both App Store and Google Play. On the App Store, they're a little easier to make and they're just more accessible to a
Yeah.
lot of companies. But in-app events are pretty big. Also because if you notice, like, especially for Google, like if you're at any of their conferences, they put a lot of focus on, well, not in-app events, they call it promotional content. But if you're trying to get featured, in-app events and promotional content is like a must now. Like if you want to do it, they would very often ask you, hey, are you also setting up a promotional content card for it or like an in-app event for it? So it's a pretty big feature, and it seems that is also considered important from like the Apple and Google side. And you usually want to do like whatever they think is important because then you're going to have a higher chance of extra boosting, more visibility, more chances to get featured. So in-app events are pretty important. And there's like a few things within those which I wanted to talk
Yeah. No,
about.
bring that up.
So the first one is this is only for Google Play. Promotional content allows you to promote discounts and offerings. You cannot do that on the App Store. It's not allowed. Usually, if you have like an in-app event promoting some discount, or like if you have a paid tier, that in-app event would just get rejected. But on Google Play, you can do that. So why not do that? If you already have access to promotional content, which not a lot of companies do, but if you do have it, consider testing it. I'm not saying it'll increase your revenues by a lot, but it's a free way to promote your paid plan essentially on the product page. Try to play with it, try to run a promotional content like that for a short period of time. You can select by market. It doesn't have to be global, but that's one use case which I think a lot of companies are not yet aware of, and it might bring some interesting results.
Yep. That's how we've seen really good success with, and like you said, it doesn't take that much time. All you need are a couple of images and it's a no-brainer. And, for one of the clients we saw when promotional content first came out, we were pretty much able to rank that promotional content with that
Yeah,
keyword. So we were already ranking well organically for that keyword. But if you kept scrolling, which one might do, our in-app event, our promotional content started showing up for that main keyword too. So I feel like we started just more like having more presence in the search results. It gave us multiple ways of showing up.
exactly. I did not add that note here, but
Yeah.
in-app events and promotional content are indexed, so
Yep.
also a good way to get some extra visibility. Cool.
I
No,
love this
that's
point.
a great point. For the second one, yeah. So in-app event and promotional content, they can be created for a lot of reasons, which you can frame as a content update or a major update. It doesn't actually have to be that major, it doesn't have to be a rebrand, a massive feature launch, or like a content update if you're like a book app and you added new content. No,
Mhm.
if you're a fitness app, add a new workout, or if you have like a maybe like a I don't know, FAQ section, you can just add something in there and position that as a new content update. There is so much you can do. Those tags like content update and major update are actually really flexible. So if you're really keen to run an in-app event or promotional content, I can almost guarantee like there is a way to do it if you just frame it properly. And it's very rare that in-app events or promotional content get rejected. So
Yep.
try to use them. Again, as Steve said, like you don't actually need much to create an in-app event. It's uh, a few sentences, a few images. You set it up quickly. You're not guaranteed to get a lot of visibility, but it's also a fairly easy lift. So it's just a good thing to test at least every once in a while. And then if you see some traction, you can make it like a systematic process and do that over and over again.
Yeah. I love it.
All right. And then the last one. This one is actually not necessarily about in-app events, but iOS on the App Store, Apple just released, well, not just released, but fairly recently released the featuring nominations tab. So basically like a way for you to nominate your app for a featuring. Now, I know that if you're an indie app, chances of getting featured are fairly low, and that has always been like that. But again, it's easy to do. Try to pitch it, try to frame your new release for which you want to get featured. Interestingly, make it seem like a big deal. If it's really innovative, just tell Apple everything you can about that, and hopefully you'll get featured. This also ties back into my point about in-app events and promotional content being almost like a must to get featured now. Very often what I see on the App Store is they come like we create in-app events, and then Apple, instead of like writing an editorial story about us, they just take our in-app event and they like boost it on the Today tab as a featuring.
Interesting.
On Google Play, the same thing. Like you can, when you create promotional content on Google Play, there is a button saying like, do you want to nominate it for a feature or like pitch it for a feature, something like that, and it might get featured. It very often gets featured not in like tier one markets, but you get quite a lot of visibility still, you capture a lot of traffic. So the benefits of using this feature are pretty big, especially if you've never used it before. Like you probably should see like a good before and after when you do your analytics at the end of the year. So to wrap up, use your in-app events and promotional content. It's great.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, especially if you're an established brand. And I see most established brands, Anton, using the in-app events all the time. Like they're always there, but I never. It makes sense, and it's like I love these little tactics that take like 15 minutes, at most, and that can get you the big maximum results. Whereas, like, pouring over Facebook ads like 3 hours into it, and trying to figure shiznit out. I like these type of strategies too. Love it.
100%.
All right, bro. Well, Bien loves this too. Bien, I'm a fan of this, obviously, too. Always a great pod when they come with the slides. Already taking so many notes. So he's enjoying all this stuff as well. The business marketing and skills. Anton, he sees many apps using only 2 subscriptions now, yearly and weekly, like filters, editors, and so forth, but not using 3 subscription methods like monthly, weekly, and yearly. Why? Is there a point to do something like this? You have any thoughts on this?
Um, as far as I'm aware, this is not necessarily ASO, but as
No.
far like from what I've seen, it's just a matter of, I guess, testing how you frame your subscription. There's so much that goes into, you know, subscription optimization. It's your onboarding, it's your paywall, it's like where the traffic is coming from, what's your ad creative. There's so much going into that, but I mean, yeah, I guess, some companies ran some tests and they saw that it doesn't actually make sense to have like a monthly. They just stick to yearly or basically longer periods, which I can see is beneficial from like the business point of view. So why not? Steve, you
Yeah.
probably have like a better answer to that.
Yeah, well, the answer I have is certain types of apps, and he pointed out them. It's photo and video apps, AI apps, like especially one-time use AI apps, tend to do better on a weekly subscription. So that's why, like one of my AI apps, Anton, we had a subscription plan where it was a 7-day on the yearly, right? We then
Mm,
switched it. The paywall changed as well, but we switched to a 3-day only on the weekly. Now yearly does not have a trial anymore. So the before
right.
was the yearly had the 7-day trial and no other plans. We had the yearly, monthly, and weekly. No other plans had a trial. We then switched the paywall to show weekly and yearly and did a 3-day trial on the weekly. And then finally the sales started climbing. Because what we noticed with the 7-day trial on the yearly, people were activating the trial, but nobody was paying. But now on the weekly, people are activating trial and paying us too. So
Right.
it really depends on the category of apps. I think most apps and even fitness apps, what we've seen is monthly, 3 months, and yearly be the best like cadence, the best 3 plans to have. I don't know if you can share some. I don't want to get you in trouble, Anton. So you share what you want to share on that
I'm
front.
good. I think it's a little bit outside of my like sort of circle of expertise, so
Okay.
I'll leave it to you.
All right, let's get back to this then. Hub said, how do you do ASO for branded apps? They can change the title too often. What tactics they can use?
Yeah, I mean, I think for branded apps, it's a lot about creative. It's a lot about conversion optimization. You can still A/B test short descriptions, for example, and it's also a lot about. I mean, if you're a big branded app, if you're established, most likely there's quite a lot of traffic sources coming in. It's not just ASO, it's not just organic search. So it's also about alignment between the product page with the traffic source through custom product pages, through analytics, just like exchanging data between ASO and paid UA teams is just, I guess, like more granular, deeper work. But if you want like a simple answer, yeah, you can't change the title too much, but it's primarily then becomes about creative. You can try to, and I know it's difficult, but very often you can find really good results with like changing the icon. One good tactic is we've seen quite a lot of wins with big, like super big name apps where you actually add the brand name into the icon. That is working v- quite often. Like quite often we're seeing wins. And the reason for that is probably what we just discussed at the very, very start of the session, like the visual keyword recognition. If you're searching for, I don't know, like name me a big brand app like Uber, and you see Uber logo or like saying Uber. I don't know. Maybe Uber is not a good case because like you actually know the logo, but you got my point. Like you
Right.
you recognize the brand name. You want to download like the thing. You're not in the mood of like selecting between Uber and Lyft or something. You just want the thing. And just showing that is exactly the app you're searching for, either in the icon or in the screenshots, tends to work quite well.
Yeah, no, we saw the same thing with, I forget who, it was a past interview guest. I forgot what it was like a crypto tracker.
Okay.
It's a popular crypto tracker. But when they added Bitcoin to the app icon, then it wasn't their technical brand, but they saw an increase in downloads by just adding
Right.
Bitcoin to that icon too. I love that. Cool. All right. You want to move on to in-app events, Anton? Or, I mean, I'm sorry, win back offers?
Yeah, I think we're good with in-app events. On win-back offers, just, yeah, a quick thing. Maybe you can go to the next slide if I
Yeah.
have a next slide. Win-back offers is a fairly fresh feature. It's
Mhm.
basically a way to re-engage well, to re-engage returning users to provide a discount to people who are coming back to your app. Win-back offers are very easy to set up. They might be a little complicated to set up if you have a lot of SKUs on the store, but generally it's an easy setup. You don't need any creative assets for those. As far as I remember, maybe you need like one image. Point being, like you just go to the console, you set them up, and we've seen pretty good results out of that. Again,
Really?
similar to in-app events, it's one of those things where it's easy to set up. It doesn't require much. You can do it in like, I don't know, an hour maybe. Unless of course you have to like, approve it with like half a company, then it will take a while. But the setup itself is quick. And then yeah, you can just track it over time, see how it works. App Store Connect provides a win back eligibility report where you can actually get the numbers on like how many people claim those. Just see if it works for you. This is a really good ASO tool. Usually like ASO and revenue or like hard to connect. With this specific one, the direct connection. You set it up, you see whether or not it works, and then you can play with like what kind of SKUs you promote, what are the discounts. You can be fairly flexible with it.
I
So
love it.
that's just a good one. I wanted to bring it up because I think not everybody yet knows about that feature. So keep that
Agreed.
in mind.
Agreed. I love it, man. Let me see. Was there anything else in this? Yep.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think that was it. All right. Well, Anton, we got some questions for you. I know I saved some, so let's go into it.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. I don't know if we can answer it here, but let's try it here. LinkedIn user says, "Can you please explain custom store listings targeting specific keywords?"
Yeah, I can. So you can go on Google Play Console, and when you create a custom store listing, there is a bunch of ways you can target them. You can create a custom store listing for your Google Ads campaign. You can target them for returning or new users, or you can create a custom store listing which will be connected only to specific search terms. So if you are, let's imagine you have like a game for kids, like an educational game for kids, and you have math, you have reading, you have writing, etc. You can only create a specific custom store listing, which will have like creatives talking about math games for kids. And
Mhm.
you can connect that custom store listing only to math games for kids keywords. So that's in a nutshell, that's what it is. Now you can create a bunch of like you can select a lot of keywords. The console actually suggests those keywords to you, or you can also add your own keywords if the console does not suggest them. So it's a fairly flexible setup, pretty easy to do. Also, if you want to do one of those, like it's also one of the things some companies do. Like, don't redesign your whole page. Adding one or two new screenshots at the start is like enough.
Yep.
That's fine. The rest can be as they are. Just a few screenshots at the start of the set might make a huge difference.
Yeah, and I think we just did it for one of the keywords that we were actually going after, and we saw a tremendous increase in downloads because we just created a custom store listing and optimized for that particular keyword too.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a no-brainer. And I love how all your tactics, these 7 tactics, they don't take much time. And frankly, it's on a little bit of skill, obviously, but if you know a little bit of ASO, you know how to best leverage those things too.
Yeah. It's not
Yeah,
too
that's why I
difficult to do.
love it. All right, Anton. What about this? Leonardo says, for new apps, which KPIs do you focus on early and what approaches do you use? For each KPI, which milestones do you go after? Do you use App Store category benchmarks, for example?
Oh yeah, as one guy said, like we need a bigger boat for this one. I'm not sure we can answer that shortly, but okay. So one, which KPIs you focus early on? ASO is generally about visibility and conversion rate. So visibility is impressions, conversion rate as well. Conversion rate by everything by traffic source, and then you want to look at downloads as well. If you just launched, you want to look at first-time downloads. That's, I mean, when you're starting out, I think that's enough. Like you just look at your impressions or store listing. What is it? Store listing visitors on Google Play by traffic source. On the App Store, you look at impressions, conversion rate, downloads by traffic source, by country. You measure those. You just track them as you go, and then as you're deeper, as you are getting deeper into the app's lifecycle, then you can add some extra KPIs to measure. But that should be enough. As for the benchmarks, I'm actually not really using App Store category benchmarks. I find them a little too generic. If you open productivity category, it's all kinds of apps in there. Like it's a calculator, it's an AI app, it's a recipes app, it's a bunch. So App Store, I'm not really using that much. Google Play are a little more sort of, you can make them a little more niche, a little more specific to your own peer group, as they call it. I do look into those sometimes when I need to kind of roughly benchmark my performance by traffic source versus competitive set. But as Thomas Petit said, like your best benchmark is how you did yesterday. So just try to get better. Your app is very specific. Your traffic mix might be specific. You might be operating in a different locale. It's very different circumstances. It's very case by case basis. If one app does better or worse, it doesn't mean that that they're doing ASO better. It just means that maybe they are not getting any paid traffic. Maybe all of it is branded, or maybe vice versa, or God knows what may be happening. So benchmarks are tricky. I think it's valuable to look into those every once in a while, but don't use that ongoingly as like a way to measure your performance. Just try to measure it versus your own historical performance. That's a
Great.
better indicator.
Yes, completely agree with that. So what I would say, I agree with Anton. Look, Leonardo, if you don't have downloads, it doesn't really matter. So what I would try to aim for is at least try to get to like some rebalance of like 30, 50 downloads a day so that you have some data. And then the KPIs I look at right after that, downloads, number one KPI, install to paywall view. So you want to make sure 100% of your installs are seeing the paywall views. Obviously, paywall to trial. Most apps have trial periods, trial to paid, LTV or average order size. So which plan are they buying the most? And then obviously your LTV to CAC ratio is the last one. So each stage is important, but downloads, if you can get downloads, we can fix the rest of the problem. So I figure out downloads because I think that's the most problem with most new apps, Leonardo. But then once you get to that point, then it's really the install to paywall view to trial, and trial to paid. Those are the things that I would be paying attention to. And then eventually move on to LTV. And then if you're running some ads, LTV to CAC ratio as well. All right. Anton, anything you want to add to that, or next question?
Next question.
All right. I thought, Yvonne had a great insight on this. So it was not this slide. Let me bring it back. I think Yvonne is talking about here. He says you can do number 3 with CPPs for ASA if you target them separately too. So if you're using ASA campaigns, by the way, you know a lot about ASA too, Apple search ads. Are you using any of this like on ASA, the returning users?
I'm not, but
Okay.
I agree with Ivan. Yeah, you can definitely do that. No, like this specific one on ASA, I did not leverage myself, but doable. If you're running Apple search ads, if there is enough volume, why not?
Yeah. Plus, like, Vaughn, this is free. And they say you got to pay. So I like the free option better.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. All right. Let's see if we can answer this. Beza, it's a long question. There's a new update on Google Play, Anton. They've removed the square image and replaced it with animated videos. I haven't tried it yet, but because I'm currently learning how to do Loti files, Sanchu's shaking his head. I have no idea what's going on. The requirement is JSON file. Have you seen or tried this update? Do you know any apps that are already implementing it? What is this thing?
Okay, so no, I did not use that yet. As far as I know, this update is like super fresh. Maybe they rolled it out like last week or like 2 weeks ago. It's very, very new. Basically, what what this is about is like when you create a promotional content card on Google Play, they've added an option to add an animation. So it used to be you just add two
Oh,
images and that's it. Now you can add a animation. They basically added an animation and removed the need to upload like a square video.
okay.
Sorry, square image. So you can add an animation. I did not do that yet. You can also on the App Store you can also upload videos instead of images, but less companies do that because it's harder to produce a video. So yeah, I mean, try it out, As always, it's all about testing. It's a boring answer, but like, run your promotional content, test. If you know how to create an animation, do that. I still think that most companies will be sticking to images just because you can pump them out way easier, way quicker. But, it's a welcome update. One thing I was thinking yesterday is say all you want about Google, but like their work with Google Play Console is like pretty good
Yeah,
compared to the App Store. Like there's just quite a lot of useful things.
yeah.
They've added this little thing where like if you go to promotional content, there's like little dots on top which say like out of 5 slots for featuring, you've only claimed like 2. So you like see right away that you have 3. It's like such a small thing, but like just shows you that they kind of think about people doing ASO. So that's I guess for an ASO manager, that's just something things I appreciate.
No, I agree
That's
with
good.
you too. I'm like,
Giving my
wow.
props to Google here.
Yes. And I'm like, well, I can actually see downloads by keyword. Thank you, Google. Come on, Apple. That seems obvious. Anton, we
All
couldn't
right.
even A/B test for the longest time on Apple. We
And
couldn't A/B
even
test
now we can,
screenshots.
and it still does not work even when we can.
Yeah.
So
I know. I haven't seen any like screenshot A/B tests. Most screenshot A/B tests are like mm, the same. Like, there's very few where I'm like, whoa, it won.
I feel you.
Yeah. All right. Business says we're building a few multi-tools to quickly create app clones, about one every 3 days, then boost them with ASO and ASA. Planning around 70 clones. Is this strategy worth it?
I don't know. I don't know. Business marketing and skills. It's on some personal level, I'm just not a fan of that because I like
Me
apps
neither.
that deliver value and they're like new and there's like real people behind them, just like pure clones boosted with ASO and ASA. Something in me does not like that, but like in terms of technically, like whether or not it will work, I guess. Like if you're really good in ASO and you have a solid budget for Apple search ads, yeah, you can boost those apps and probably, optimize your paywall and make some money. But that's just not the business model I've ever been a part of, so can't say much.
Personally, I wouldn't do it too. Look, it's up to you, but this just feels like 2015 when reskinning was a lot, and I used to take part in that way back in the day. But it's just way more competitive now, and I rather, for me, Anton, like rather cup focus. Like I rather have like don't say 70 clones, but can you find a good 15, and then out of that 15, can you find the 2 or 3 that are going to probably drive your revenues forward? And I've talked to, whoops, sorry, I unmuted you, but I've talked to a couple of different indie app bootstrap founders that found success and have a big portfolio. And I was, I point blank asked them, I was like, hey, you have a lot of apps. Like, how many of those apps are making like legitimate money? And it is that 80-20 rule. It's
Yeah,
20% of all his apps are making like 80% of the revenue. So you got to
100%,
find that. Yeah.
100%.
I love it. All right, Anton. Well, let's get into our app audit section of our show. And I know there's a few more questions. I will get to them, but we got to do some app audits and we got to do some dad jokes. All right, Anton, I got some good ones here that my daughter prepared for me. It was
All
my
right.
This was part of my present. So I have
Yeah,
her
whenever it's
that
like
she came
whenever
up
it's a
with.
handwritten note, I'm getting nervous.
You should be my friend. Okay, so since you're nervous, what do we say? We're playing for coffee, some drinks. What loser owes the winner some coffee or drinks. Yeah, how about that?
Okay, let's try that. Let's try
Okay,
that. I'm not a, I was thinking like I was very nervous about the dad jokes part. I'm like, gee, like I'm sort of like a wine taster where I can appreciate a good one. I'm not good enough to make one, but
me
let's see
neither.
where it
I
goes.
just find them on the internet. All right, Anton. So do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
I mean, listen, it's I don't know if I told you before, I'm a pretty big music fan, like rap music fan. I've been in New York 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm coming into this restaurant and I see the legendary 50 cent, and you know what he did?
What?
58.
I love it. Okay.
Yeah,
Look, guys, we want you to vote. So get ready. Anton, why did the fisherman order the halibut?
I know why.
Just for the halibut. There it is. All right. Just for the
Okay.
hell of it. All right. All you got to do if you want a free indie app Santa promotion worth $300, all you have to do is vote for your favorite dad joke. Put S in the comments if you thought my joke was better, and put A in the comment if you thought Anton's jokes was better. And my buddy Isanchu is going to pull up the winner and give you a free indie app Santa promo as well. All right. Here we go. Let's get into our app audits. Anton, we've got this from Dominique. He's got a workout app that's
All right.
gamified. He wants help on ASO and keywords. So he's got 2 reviews. Anton, where would you start?
You got to get more reviews. I mean,
Yeah.
2 ratings, 2.5. Ratings are important for an app. Try to look into, well, first of all, the app quality, like why the rating is so low. Is the app actually good? But then in terms of optimization, I guess try to optimize your rating prompt in a way where it's visible by a lot of people during their like happy moment. So
Mm-hmm.
try to get more ratings. Workout quests, gamified gym, gamified workouts, level up. I mean, keywords look okay. I'm not sure how many people search for like level up. Um, Maybe you can just do uh, better keyword research. Um, the icon is, I guess, good enough. You can A/B test it if you have Google Play. The app is very small to rating, so you probably don't have a lot of traffic. So if you'll be A/B testing anything, just like apply that stuff on the store and see whether or not it works. And if it doesn't, just go back to the original. Screenshots, I would just, yeah, I mean, screenshots are very basic. Like if you're a niche app, you want to stand out somehow. This app it looks pretty clinical. Like it's not also gamified. Like you're all about gamifying, all about excitement. Try to look up some exciting, maybe even go into like just see what games are doing. Like try to bring more color, more, engagement, make it look less clinical. Like this is supposed to be an exciting gamified experience, but the screenshots are not, they're
Yeah.
just not. They're very plain. So I would work on the screenshots. Icon is actually okay. Like if you want to go for this like kind of workout warrior type of thing, fine. And maybe look into the keyword optimization just at this stage, try to make sure that you target as many relevant keywords as possible within that like niche. It feels like a niche app, which is not a bad thing. You
Right.
might get successful in a niche, but I would do some iterations on the keyword optimization as well.
I like it. What's your favorite way to do keyword research?
I'm just going on the ASO tool. Um,
Your favorite one, Anton, that you want to
I mean,
talk about?
I like AppTweak. It's just the
Epic?
fastest. It's the fastest. It has all the features you need really, and I'm also just used to working with it. AppFollow is pretty good as well. So AppTweak, AppFollow, one of those two. I used to I think we had like Sensor Tower. They have ASO features as well. That one I did not like. It's very like just the UI part of it is very hard to use. If
Yep.
you support AppTweak, AppTweak is good. Or check AppFollow. AppFollow has really good AI review reply features as well. So that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I love app follow as well, especially when it comes to keyword research. And so I don't know what you think about this, but like, let's say you were doing keyword research for this. How do you like to use app follow? I can sign into AppTweak too, but I would love to.
Yeah, I mean, first first of all, I would just like literally either brainstorm or just like add all of the keywords I think are important, like
Okay.
workout, gamified workout, like whatever you have. for that specific app. I would just add those. Then I would go competitor by competitor, check some of their keywords as well. Then I think quite a lot of tools. I don't remember if AppFollow has that. I know AppTweak has it. It has those like AI sort of mix and match features where you can add a bunch of keywords and then it like gives you a lot of long tail keyword suggestions. So you just like you compile this massive backlog and then you go through it, you filter it out, you actually leave the keywords which are relevant, you remove the ones which are irrelevant, and then within those you start digging deeper and deeper and deeper unless you land at like a short list of the most important keywords you want to target. For small app, you probably want to target keywords which are like longer tail and have sort of small to medium volume of traffic. You will not be competitive for the biggest keywords. Like this app will not rank for a keyword workout just because it will. But for a small niche one, you have a better chance. So yeah, for indie apps, try to look for those longer tail, medium volume keywords. Like try to find that perfect spot for you.
Where is it in AppTweak, Anton?
Where
Do you want me to? Where did you find that keyword? Where you can go to the AI? I want to figure that out. Can I?
Oh, I'm saying I know where it's on. Oh yeah, you're in AppTweak.
AppTweak. Yeah, I'm in AppTweak now.
So you need to add like an app and then go into their like keyword.
Let me try to find his app. What is this called? Workout Quest. Did I put Workout Quest or is this like? So I did gamified workout right here, and I got Walker. Maybe I should go into Walker.
You can add any. Like if we just want to check the feature, just go into any app.
Walker. Go into Walker. Let's see. Come on. Okay, come on. Do you want me to hit follow?
Yeah, so I'm not sure you need. Well, yeah, try that.
Okay.
Then if you go into keywords on the left side, yeah, keywords. And then on top you see keyword suggestions. You have metadata, top rank, top installs, da 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 da. And then on the right there is like AI generator. So you can click on that and it gives you a bunch of ideas, I think, based on the metadata. You can also do like keyword clusters. There is a shuffler thing, like which is all the way to the right-hand side, where you can put like fitness, gamified, workout, abs, and it will just mix and match those keywords as much as possible to give you like multiple variations. So usually what you want to do is like, for the sake of speed, you can just click on the right-hand side on like analyze all, just create like a big list of keywords, and then stage 2, you like sift through them. You remove the ones which are irrelevant.
The Conquer
see, like there's a bunch of things.
Yeah,
there's a bunch
this
of things
is
you
brilliant.
Can find like that.
Okay, I'm glad I did this. See, Anton, I'm very selfish. I just want to know. I want to know how to do stuff. Like that's so
you're
cool.
welcome.
Yeah, thank you for this, man. I want to see and I can see the live search. Is this branded or not? Fantasy hike, but the Conquer
I'm pretty
challenge too.
It's branded, but again, like fantasy hike is generic enough, so you can also target that.
Yeah, and I love finding like tools like this where you can find different keywords that I have never thought about. So I love it. Okay. Thank you for that. AI generator, AppTweak. Shout out, AppTweak. All right, this is good. Awesome. Okay. Anything else on the Dominic that you want to recommend to him?
No, I really want them to like have more reviews, to be honest, and better ones.
I love it. Okay. Sanchi, how are you doing? Are you ready to pick the winner and tell us who won the dad joke round? Need more time? He's ready. Okay. All right, Sanchi, come on in then. Or do you
I'm pretty confident in mine, to be honest.
All right, Sanchi, first, come on, give a little bit more of a dramatic effect. Who won that round, the dad joke round?
The winner is Steve P. Young.
Yes. Sorry, Anton. What was the score?
It was 5-4.
5-4. Oh, very close. Very close.
Not close enough. I'm still upset.
All right. So for all those who voted, I gotta remove mine. We're gonna pick a winner, and Sanchu's gonna spin. He's put all your guys' name into this spinny wheel thing. Go ahead, Sanchu. Give it a spin.
Yeah, that's Go.
Let's go.
And it's
Marco
it's
again.
Marco.
Marco again. All right, Marco. There you go, Marco. I think he's won too a couple of times, but congratulations, Marco. I feel like this spinning wheel favors the same people as Sanchu, but congratulations, Marco. I know Jordy was so close. So close. All right. Cool. Let's move on to the
feel for you,
next.
Jordy.
You got any more, Anton? You want to redeem yourself, or should we move on to the next app?
Let me open my notes. I may have one.
All right. I know you don't like
I
losing.
may have. I mean, I just want to do it for Jordy, to be honest.
Okay.
If they have like another shot at winning, whatever they can win.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I have one more. More.
All right. Let's go one more then. You want me to?
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah.
No. I'll go, Steve. I got fired from the Keyword Factory.
Oh yeah. How come?
Yeah, they said I wasn't putting in enough shifts.
All right. I like it. Enough shifts. All right, guys, and get the voting right. It's just S or A. It's simple. It's our names. S or A. I'm trying to make it easier for you. Anton, I was wondering why the Frisbee kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it hit me. There you go. All right. S for Steve, A for Anton. That's it. No B's, okay? But I don't know there was B's coming in, but that's all we need.
I like
all right.
yours.
You says, hey, Steve, can you please talk about the best community chat platform for suggestions on new apps and what users would like to see in an app? You got any of your favorites?
I think it's less about the platform and more about the community where you are.
Yeah.
Like there are some communities on Slack. There is actually an ASO community by a feature called ASO Stack. You can try to apply to join that one. It's fairly big. It's ASO focused, but there's a lot of people and the community is fairly active. But yeah, I don't know about the platforms. I feel like it's more about just like the specific community of engaged people who would be open to give you some feedback.
Yeah, I like it. Thank you, Nurex, for the birthday wishes. Matthew, great work, guys. We got Marco, getting downloads is so critical. Leonardo says, how do CSLs, custom store listings, affect ASO? Does including different keywords in your Google CSL description affect your rankings for those keywords?
I have to be honest, I did not test it like that. So usually custom store listings for me, I see them more as like a visual conversion rate optimization tool. So by default, I'm like not really playing with keywords too much there. I don't think it will affect your ranking too much, but to be honest, like I did not really test, so I don't want to.
I think we've tested some things, and then I can't say with complete confidence, but that's how we normally create these custom store listings. It is for those keywords, Anton, and we're seeing pretty decent success. But it's also in line with your conversion rate optimization. Obviously, yeah.
That's the thing. I'm not sure it's because you target those keywords. I think it's because the way for the algorithm to know if your app is relevant for the keyword is how well people convert for it. So if you create a page that converts well for the keyword taxi, conversion rate goes up, is just a signal back to the algorithm that like, hey, the app is getting traffic, there are downloads, and the conversion rate is high. Then you might increase your ranking. So it's less about targeting that keyword in your metadata and more about, conversion rate optimization on the keyword level for that specific search term.
Completely agree. All right, let's do one more joke before we go to the next app. ZenApp says, what do you guys think about Apple's new launch on AI summary on reviews? Do you think it'll affect organic rankings?
I think it will affect conversion more than organic rankings, because on Apple, apps do not, like, as far as I'm aware, your app reviews are not indexed on the App Store. So whatever summaries there will be, they'll be visible on your product page, which means that people who come to the product page and see them might or might not read them, and so that might affect conversion rate for them. I don't see how that will affect rankings unless there'll be some changes to the algorithm.
Okay, I like it. All right, let's get into Sandor's app. Sorry, Sanchi, let me remove that, add this to stage. Here we go. So he's got an app that is a fun facts, did you know type of thing. You can discover new facts every single day. So it looks like a pretty simple app. Wants help on some ASO and onboarding and paywall. So we'll get into the app as well. But anything on the ASO front you want to highlight? Maybe even hear what I would say, Anton, what I learned from you is like maybe put facts. If that's the keyword you're going after, put fun facts in the icon.
Yeah, try putting fun facts. I actually like the icon. It's like playful enough. It's,
Yeah.
you know, it's a game, so it looks good. Fun facts, did you know? I think there's definitely room for improvement in terms of conversion, keyword optimization. I don't think did you know is a keyword. Maybe no is a keyword, but like did you, I don't think about.
Yeah.
I don't think it is. So if it's like fun facts guessing game or guessing party game, that might be a better fit. So I would look into that. And then the screenshots, like if it's a party game, add some images of, you know, people around the table enjoying their time, you know, playing that game. Screenshots themselves are not too bad. I don't understand why everything is in bold except the word new. I guess you wanted to highlight discover facts every day, but because it's the whole caption, like everything's highlighted. So maybe not do that. I would just honestly, I would make them a little more playful, a little more like aspirational. So add some photos, you know, make it seem fun. Also on Google Play, screenshots appear 3 times smaller than on the App Store. So if you open the product page from the Android phone, the captions will be barely legible. You will just
Yeah.
not be able to read anything. So what you want to make sure is that people can understand what your app is. So try to make either your, I don't know, captions larger or change the orientation, you know, make your screenshots landscape. You can also make them like squarish, and test that. But overall,
I was
the app
gonna
looks,
show it
oh,
off. Fun facts,
have
what
it
you were talking.
already, Steve.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Fun facts.
So
Let's see.
nothing
Oh
here.
yeah, it's actually
Right?
now it's ranking number 4.
So this is
There you
what you
go.
mean by the screenshots, like barely,
Yeah, see,
barely.
they're pretty small. Like you can really
Yeah.
read what the app is about. If like this the first screenshot, even if you can't read anything, but there would be like a bunch of people around the table having fun showing their
Yeah.
phones, they'll be like, oh, okay, I guess I kind of, you know, get a sense of what the app is. So you could do that. Again, landscape might work better. If you go, for example, to Freeletics page, we use landscape screenshots on Google Play, but we use portrait on the App Store.
That
That
makes
is for a
sense.
reason.
I was gonna ask
So,
that, Anton. I like that.
oh, see,
I like
quite a
that.
lot of apps do that, and that just gives you more space to, you know, have a larger copy, like zoom in on some UI, just easier to read.
Yeah,
Tends to be a better fit for Android.
I like it. I'm gonna steal this one. I never know how to do screenshots on Android. I'm like,
Well, we can take it offline. I'll give you a few ideas.
dang it. All right. Anyways, let's go into the app because they put in it. Hey, ask for what you want, Dominic. You just wanted ASO and keyword, not onboarding paywall. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to go through. Since Sandor asked for it, I'm going to go through this. Did you know studies have shown that individuals who engage in continuous learning are more likely to, okay, great. Wants a reminder. This feels like that motivation app that I've done. So I'm going to hit allow for now. Start fun conversations. Have a fun break. Yeah, I like that. What topics do you like? What do you like? Like this one.
Let's do history,
Yeah, I like
business.
history too. You know what? Let's take business out of it. Nature, sure. Geography, food, why not? Sports, yeah, why not? Pop culture. Okay, I did a lot. Let's see. Good onboarding. I'm liking everything. Okay, now we got the paywall. Yeah, not bad.
I say the first screen is like super text heavy. Where it was like the fact. I get the point. Like it's a fun fact app. You want to start with a fun fact, but I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lot of words. You could have broken it up to 3 different screens. I'm almost finding that if you know, like if you have long text, just break it up and it's working a little bit better. So I'm going to show off this because we do have some data now, Anton, that I will share with you here on this paywall, since Sandor is using the same type of paywall that Blink is popularized, right? We're seeing this way of doing stuff is better. So I think on Android, it would work pretty well for you, Sandor. I don't have enough data to say, but I think is what I'm telling you. So just lead with one screen that says, hey, we want to offer, you don't even have to put 3 days, but we want to offer our Fun Facts app for free to you so that you can learn and try it out. They would try for free. We'll remind you. Even if you don't do this, I think it'll be fine. But you can say, I will remind you. So try for free again. Then you hit them with your paywall, but then optimize your paywall so that you can really highlight these features, because this feels like too much text is going on. So I would almost just break it up and talk about the free trial right here, that one screen, and then use this last paywall screen to really highlight some of the benefits you have. And then you could, what we've noticed is continue for free works probably pretty well. That's probably better than start free trial. But on Android, we saw start free trial work better than continue. But I think continue for free probably would work better than start free trial. But anyways, you're kind of blending the both things there. Oops, sorry. Wrong button. What do you think, Anton? Anything else you want to add on to this onboarding and paywall?
No, I think you got it all.
All right, otherwise it looks really good. I mean, $10 on Android, not bad. The only other thing is maybe think about adding discounts, especially on Android. Most people don't want to pay, so maybe add some discounting features in here too. Oh, this is a pretty fun fact, Anton. The Eiffel Tower was originally intended for Barcelona. The Spanish city thought it was too ugly, so Gatuis pitched it to Paris instead. That's awesome.
Good to know.
Yeah.
What would it be called then? I guess the same, because it's the guy's name, right?
Yeah, it's the guy's name. Yeah. Always want to call it his name. All right, Anton.
That's a good app. It's this fact is way more fun than the first fact you had on your onboarding.
Yeah, that's a good idea. In ancient Rome, people put toast in their wine for health, starting the tradition of raising a toast. Oh, these are actually pretty fun.
Oh, all right. We can just spend like half an hour scrolling through those. It should be like a new section. That's fun. Raising a toast.
Anton, when you hopefully owe me my drink, Anton, we will drink to something where we both go, okay, if we both do it, we drink.
Yeah. Nice.
Only 10% of the population is left-handed.
Okay, whatever.
All right, yeah. The currency in Vietnam is solely composed of paper money with no coins. Okay, I'll drink. What do you think, Anton?
If it was only coins, that would be fun.
Okay, yeah, okay, deal. Good drinking game. There you go, guys.
That's a good one.
Fun facts drinking game that we just made up for you. All right.
That's a good one.
Sanchu, did I win it all, or did Anton redeem himself?
Yeah. So the score is 8-3, and Steve, you won this round as well.
Yay! Where's my thumb?
I'll give it to you, Steve.
Okay.
Yours will be better. I also think I mispronounced a few words in mine, so I didn't make it easy for myself.
There you go, Anton. I'll give you that sound effect. All right, Anton. All right, Sanchu, let's pick one more winner, shall we?
Sure.
Let's do it. And let's remove Marco's name. Marco, that's enough. We're rooting for Jordy, right? Come on, Jordy. All right, I'll take Nora. She voted. All right, Nora, there you go.
Yeah.
Nora.
Congrats.
Nora, it is. Congrats. So, Nora, just email me, steve@appmasters.com. And then the other winner was Marco. I already know Marco. You can email me as well. Sorry, Jordy. We'll hook you up with something. How about that? All right, just email us and then we'll hook you up with something since you seem disappointed. And I hate disappointing people. All right, Nora. Nora says, yay. All right, cool. Anton, anything I missed that you want to make sure we talk about before we say goodbye? Finally, let you go on with your day. This holiday, by the way.
No, honestly, had a lot of fun. I hope it was useful to people. We shared some good takes, some insights. So it's just a pleasure, Steve. Thanks for inviting me.
No, Anton's a great follow, and one of the main reasons I reached out to him was he shares so much great content on LinkedIn. So his LinkedIn profile is linked up into the YouTube description, into your favorite podcast app. Definitely go follow him if you haven't done so. And then, yeah, he's just a lot of great content coming from the ASO standpoint as well. So recommend that. And then check out Freeletics if you're into working out and checking that out as well.
100%.
Anton, anywhere else you want to send the audience? They want to connect with you.
No, it's good. Go to my LinkedIn. I have a website, 41 Anton. Might be easier to find me.
Yeah, 41 Anton is easy too. .com. There it is. All that is linked up in your favorite podcast and YouTube description as well. All right, next week we're going to try to see if there are other people guests, but it might just be you and me. And so I'll kind of break down some of the things that we've been working on. But if you got any questions, maybe we treat it like an AMA as well. It's on you, and we'll join up. We'll send you a link. Ask me anything you want, and then we'll kind of break down everything just for you as well. Join us every Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific.